I figured most mortgage lenders are like max like 130, maybe you're at like 180. It's not like a super high ceiling. And he like laughed and he's just like, dude, I'm going to show you something. Shows me his last end of year pay stub that has the year to date on there, but it was over $1 million, and I was like, holy crap! I was like, are you real? Like, you're making over $1 million doing loans? And he's like, you've been doing it for 5 years, and he's like, yeah. All you got to do is focus on building relationships and just be a genuine human being and you will do extremely well.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is a mortgage lender based out of Salt Lake City, Utah area, who works often with self-employed clients. Please welcome Parker Strong. Parker, welcome to the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, Dylan. It's good to be here.
It's great to
Very
have
excited.
you on
I
here.
feel very famous.
Yeah. It's great to have you on here. I've been out to Salt Lake when I was much younger, but I feel like it's becoming, and maybe it's always been, but definitely recently, I've had a lot of interest in people investing in Utah, specifically in that greater area. What's the market like out there?
Dude, it is wild. It has changed very drastically since when I was a kid. When I was younger, I'd say home prices were like really low. I mean, obviously home prices across the entire country have increased significantly, but in Utah, I think a lot of people looped us in with the Midwest.
Yeah.
Where that is, we've never considered ourselves that, but I think people would loop us in there. And now, with the huge tech boom that Utah's been experiencing, we are, I think, I think we're in the top 5 fastest growing states in the country. And so home prices have soared. The economy has flourished a ton. I mean, we're getting a ton of new people that are moving into the state. And so, yeah, it's a cool place to be. Pros and cons to each. I don't like the traffic that comes with all the new population, but I love the cool new businesses, and I'm a diehard hockey fan. So the fact that now we have the Utah Mammoth, sorry to the Phoenix Coyotes, I feel so sad for you, but I am, as a diehard hockey fan, I am beyond excited that we had enough growth to get an NHL team. So that's what
That's awesome. When did they go out there?
Oh, just this last year. This last season was the first season. So
It's long overdue.
It was last summertime. Yeah.
Long overdue.
And like Utah's such a snow state,
Yeah.
Like it's such a winter sport place. So I was like, I mean, I've played hockey my whole life, and so I've always loved it, but it was like such an underground sport here in Utah, and it like killed me because we're known for the greatest snow on earth.
Yeah, I mean, I've skied out there. It was amazing. The one thing that shocked me so much, and I don't know if it's still this way, was when I was skiing out there as a kid, they didn't have the protective bars over the top, and I said, "Oh my gosh, is this not northern New Jersey, New York?"
Yeah, it's because if you at least we have enough snow that if you fall off, you'll survive because you'll land into some powder. So they're just like, save on money, don't
throw
put
some ice
crossbars
on it. Yeah, you'll be okay. I want to pivot a bit here and ask you about getting into the real estate space. I think a lot of folks on the outside looking in, I know me, You mentioned before hopping on here, you were working in the automotive space beforehand. I also was. I worked actually for Nissan, for Chrysler, for a number of different.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Brands, but I didn't really know
I
anybody.
won't hold that against you.
That's right. That's right. I didn't really know anybody in the real estate space or have any exposure to it, and it was kind of a leap of faith when I jumped in. How did you get into the real estate space?
Yeah, dude, it's been a journey. So I graduated from Brigham Young University in business strategy, and I moved out to Detroit, Michigan, worked for General Motors for their Chevy and Cadillac division to do strategy for them. I was there for about a year and then ultimately was like, I just didn't really love what I was doing. Plus, I love Detroit. There was definitely some great things, but I also was like, this is not where I want to be long term. So I decided to come back to Utah. I got hired by a really big tech company that was kind of, it was starting to go through their boom. So they're called Qualtrics. Ryan Smith, who's the owner of the Utah Jazz and the Utah Mammoth, he that's his company. That's where he made his fortune, was through Qualtrics. So I actually got hired by Ryan, part of the strategy department. It was the operations strategy department. So I came in, worked there, and I was there for about 5 years. And I liked my job. It was a good place to be, but I've always had just like an entrepreneur type mindset and was just like, I just don't love the 9-to-5 work. And so what originally started my journey to get into real estate was I put on my social media and I just said, hey, I'm looking at side hustles. I want to find ways to grow my money. What are things that some of you people are doing? And I got a lot of people that responded to me. Utah, unfortunately, is really well known for MLMs or multi-level marketing schemes. And I hate those. So I had so many MLMs that reached out to me that were like, dude, you should, get rich quick schemes. And I was just like, no, I don't want to do that. And I had one person who was like, hey, have you ever thought about being a mortgage lender? And I didn't even know what it was at the time. But I had some money set aside that I wanted to get into real estate investing. So I was like, oh, what would be cool is like, what if I just learned the ins and outs of mortgages and did my own loans so I could do mortgage or real estate investing. That was my original purpose. So I got into it and I did it part-time originally with my mentor. His name's Adam. He's actually sitting right behind me right here. And he originally the way that it was set up was I was kind of like a glorified SDR. I would have people that would come into my pipeline. I wouldn't actually process anything. I would pass them off to Adam, and Adam would actually take them through the whole process and get them closed on the home loan. And then I would get 50% of the commission, and he would get 50%. And so it was a great deal for me as someone who was working full time. I made pretty good money just doing that. And then I had kind of a very frank conversation with Adam about a little over a year ago. And I just said, I'm like, hey, dude, like, I'm so tired of this, like, 9-to-5 life. Like, I really want to get into self-employment. And he asked me a couple pointed questions where he's like, well, what's your, like, what do you want to make, like, in a year? And I was like, I want to make a difference. No, I was like, I don't know. Like, at the time, I thought I was, like, pretty big deal. I was like 28, 29 years old, and I was making, like, 130, 150K, which isn't amazing, but it was like pretty good for my age group and where I was. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's a good salary. I was like happy with where I was, and I kind of was high up on my horse about it. And Adam at the time was just like, dude, like you can make so much more. And he asked me, he's like, how much do you think I make? And I was like, I don't know, like mortgage lender, like maybe I was like, he'd been doing it for 5 years. So I was like, I figured most mortgage lenders are like max like 130, maybe you're at like 180. And so I was like, that's not like a super high ceiling. And he like laughed And he's just like, dude, I'm going to show you something. Shows me his last end of year pay stub that has the year to date on there.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And maybe he'd kill me for saying this, but it was over $1 million, and I was like, holy crap! I was like, are you like, you're making over $1 million doing loans? And he's like, you've been doing it for 5 years? And he's like, yeah. And Adam's not a flashy guy. This is not someone who's driving like flashy sports cars. Like he's not a sales bro type personality. He's just a very genuine, authentic individual, which is who I try to be. Is just someone like that. And so he's just like, dude, like, all you have to do, he's like, get into the business. He's like, all you got to do is focus on building relationships and just be a genuine human being who wants to like legitimately help people. And if you know how to market yourself, then you will do extremely well. So that was really I would say the main catalyst that got me to decide. I was like, okay. And so I quit my job a week later, went into doing this full time, and have now done it for a full 12 months. So I started beginning of July of 2024 was when I started doing this full time.
This makes me want to go be a lender, because I tell people this. I'm a wholesaler for 2 years, was a wholesaler for 2 years, became a realtor. And what I realized from both worlds is deals will fall apart, and no realtor on the wholesale side, deals will fall apart, but also no realtor will show you around unless you have lending set up, unless you have some way to actually purchase a property. And so I've thinking about it and how difficult it is, especially for young people right now, to get qualified. And that really does irk me a lot of ways, especially people who have very noble jobs and can't get qualified. And I'm thinking like, yeah, it's great to be able to work with investors. It's great to be able to show people homes. But in many cases, people don't have a reliable person that they can go to for lending. And what if I could be that guy for them? And so hearing someone like yourself talk about this has really, again, piqued my interest in learning that side of the business. Okay. You mentioned that you just really got started this year in the last 12 months. How has it been in the first 12 months in business?
You know, dude, I try to be as like transparent about this stuff as I can. I mean, it was a grind. Like I got into the business, and I didn't close my first deal until I think it was 3 months in. And so I'd say one thing that was helpful was I had an emergency fund set up. So I knew how much I spent on a monthly basis, and I had a 6-month emergency fund set up where I essentially told myself, I'm like, okay, I'm going to dive into lending full time. If I don't make a single dime for 6 months, I'll be okay. I can still live my life the same way that I'm currently living it. And so that was nice to have that cushion. And it took me about 3 months. Then I finally closed my first deal, and I was like really excited, but I was like, man, this is a freaking grind.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what necessarily has happened. I think it's just because like I try to be a very personable individual. And like I'm not when I have conversations with people, I'm not over here trying to sell like, hey, I have the lowest interest rates and I'm really fast at all this stuff. Like I'm just like, I think like a chill, cool guy that people are like, hey, I want to work with Parker. So like having a avenue of referral partners from realtors, financial advisors, CPAs, and insurance agents, like those are kind of my main like funnels. And then also with social media, now past clients, which I can lean on, and then doing organic referrals from my own sphere of influence. Those are kind of my main 4 pillars that I lean on. I just like have conversations with those people, and now it's like I would say like I'm kind of on the trajectory of like for 2025 to hit about the 200K threshold, like take home pay, which isn't anything crazy. There are people doing way more than me than that.
What replaced your income in a year?
First time,
yeah.
Exactly. Like my goal was when I started, I was like, okay, I need to make at least 130 to 150K. Like that's what my salary plus bonus was. Yeah. If I can do that, then I'll consider this a success. And I'm at there. So I was super happy about that. And now, we still have four 4 or 5 months left of the year. And so I essentially, hopefully we'll hit that 200K threshold and continue to grow from there. And it just snowballs. And
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
and grows. And so just keep doing what I've been doing. And it's been fun. I've had really good mentors. I've taken really good classes. I do sales coaching, all that stuff has been really helpful. So my expenses are still very low. I don't pay for a whole lot of fancy stuff. It's literally just a lot of organic things, and it's worked out well for me. So
I want to ask you about that side of the business, as far as doing what I would call would be something that can be done remotely, but is highly specific with a regionality in a sense. So let me break that down. I know a lot of lenders who maybe are licensed in multiple different areas, but I think there's a regionality of real estate which is important and should not be overlooked. What's your perspective on lenders who are licensed everywhere? Are you licensed in multiple different states? And do you feel like as a lender, it's important to niche down and focus on one area versus say that you loan everywhere?
I don't think it's mutually exclusive, if I'm honest. I think you can have both. In fact, I 5 of the deals that I've done so far this year have been out of state. So they have not been I'm from Utah. So they haven't been from Utah. They've been from outside, and they've come from various random sources. And so I don't think that you need to be only exclusive to one state. I'm getting my license right now in Arizona and Idaho, and that's just because that's where most of my out-of-state deals have been. And so I'm I kind of want to get licensed there just because it makes sense.
Yeah.
And what I will say, I'd say there's 2 aspects of it. One is focusing on being hyper local, I think, is a good thing. Trying to be at events in person, meeting people, forming genuine connections. Genuinely for me, it's one of the new things I've started to take on is that because I'm such an avid hockey fan, it's kind of like a niche. It's kind of like a niche sport here in Utah still. It's growing and people are getting more interested, but not everybody does it. And so the fact that I am such an avid hockey fan, if you look at my social media, that's mostly what I post about. And I do talk about being a mortgage lender, but people don't care about loans unless they're buying a house, and even then they're really not that excited about it. And so having something engaging on my social media that's focusing on something hyper local, such as Utah hockey that's growing, that is interesting, and that's why I get a lot of followers on social media and a lot of engagement, is because I'm talking about that stuff. And then I touch on being a mortgage lender, and so I'm living in the back of their heads where when it comes time for financing, people are oh, that one hockey guy does mortgage lending, and they're I don't know any mortgage lenders. Everyone knows realtors, but not many people know mortgage lenders off the top of their head. And because I'm in front of so many people, they're oh, I'll reach out to him. So from a hyper local side of things, I think it is important to go to networking events, be in person, have something that is relatable that people can look at you as. From the other side of things, though, I would say a lot of business has come from I don't think that you have to only stay in that lane. I have gotten deals from out of state, from random connections I've made from networking groups and being a part of big online networking things, and people just liked who I am, and they're hey, I have a friend who's like I said, I focus on self-employment. I do this on purpose because I think having a niche is really important. If I am just a normal mortgage lender and I say, hey, send me all your business, then every realtor, right? You're a realtor. They're everyone sends me that. But if I go to someone and I say, hey, I am the best at self-employed income, I don't want to touch your other business. When you have a self-employed client, come to me because I will get them completed and done. I can help them if they're under 2 years self-employed. I can help them if they write off all their taxes, all these things, right? And that's what I focus on. Then all these realtors are like, oh, that's really interesting. And that makes me stand out. And so those realtors that I have out of state, they reach out to me because someone's self-employed. I do a good job for them on the loan. And then I'm like, hey, also at the end of the transaction, I'm like, just so you know, I do all other loan types. I don't just do self-employed. So if you have other business, like, let me know. And if I did a good job on that loan, then it just helps feed more of their business to me, even despite the fact that I'm not living in the same state as them.
It's a huge thing. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The lending portion of the deal is the most important part of it. Without that, you have no deal at all. And then in the self-employment space, it's even trickier. We get into DSCR loans and all different types, but it's definitely a whole lot trickier and niche down. Parker, we are coming up on time here, though. Where can folks go if maybe they are looking for a loan out there in Utah, or if they would like some guidance or to reach out to you?
Yeah, like I said, my team is licensed in almost every single state. And so it doesn't matter if you're in Utah or if you're in any other state, like and I will say this again, nobody is better at doing self-employed loans than me and my team. And so if you are self-employed, doesn't matter where you are, like, reach out to me. My personal cell phone number that I work off of is 801-651-6908. And then people can also email me at pstrong@umortgage.com. And it's the letter U, like U Mortgage. I'm also super active on Instagram and Facebook. So Parker B Strong on Facebook and also Parker B Strong on Instagram. And it's B is my parents wanted to, my name is Parker Strong. My parents wanted to make sure that I always had a affirmation for my name, apparently.
I like that.
So Parker Brent Strong. So it's Parker B is the initial and Strong.
The affirmation.
So anyway,
for the
it's
name.
easy to find.
That's
Yeah,
great.
It definitely wasn't on purpose on their side of things, but it's helped me out throughout my life. So
Parker, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
sure thing, Dylan. Thanks for having me, man. It was good meeting you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.